Hello and Croeso. Welcome to the Calon Yarns Knitting Podcast. My name's Lynne and I'm coming to you from Cardiff in Wales in the UK. And this is a traditional What's on My Needles knitting podcast. And I have a couple of projects to show you today, works in progress. I have some wonderful gifts that I have been sent and also a project cast on. An imminent cast on. So we had better get started. Croeso, one and all, is great to have you here. Yes, it has been a busy week. I have made some good progress on my projects. If you are a new viewer here, welcome. It is wonderful to have you here. If you are a returning viewer, as always, thank you so much for coming back. I have, as I say, I've made some good progress. I have also been sent some wonderful gifts this week, which I will get to in a moment. And I also have made a decision on what my next project will be, so I will let you know about that. Apologies if there's been a couple of sound issues on the last couple of episodes. I haven't seen an issue on my laptop or heard an issue on my laptop, but when it kind of, it pops up on the TV sometimes, the first kind of little segment of an episode, and it seemed a little bit rustly maybe, so I'm not sure whether it's the camera, I'm not sure whether it was just the noise of the room, but I will try and make some adjustments this week. But apologies if it sounds a bit odd. I am investigating. Sorry, school time, people are heading home. The other thing to say is that this is the traditional What's on My Needles little part of the podcast, but I have been doing my Sleeve Island Knit and Natter Club. So I will continue to do that, but I think the way I'll probably do it is release Am an Isle, we call it in Welsh, there or thereabouts. Alternate, one on and one off, so I'll probably do a knitting podcast one week and then the Knit and Natter the following week, if that's okay, just in terms of editing and time. I'm going to try and roll it like that for a little while, so we see how that goes. Thank yous to those of you that joined me in my Knit and Natter sessions. That was really lovely to have you there. I haven't run the poll yet on Instagram, so as I said, if you're able to join me on Instagram, I can do a poll of where everybody is to try and organise an online live from Cardiff, Wales knit club. I'll try and organise that, so yeah, do jump on board over there as well if you could. What else to say? It's been really chilly here in certain parts of the UK. We've had snow, which we don't often get in South Wales, well, more West Wales really, but yeah, it's certainly taken a turn for the chilly, so that's good. It is the right time of year for it, hence the perfect time for knitting. So let's dive into that. I have made some good progress on my Pelica Vest. I'm intending to go for the short version. So essentially I need to add like 30 rows pretty much. I think it's 27 rows to be exact. But yeah, I've done the last buttonhole. Oh no, the last but one buttonhole. So there's this bit. I've done the buttonhole here. Where is it? There somewhere. So you carry on till the bottom, and then there's one buttonhole right at the bottom, and that should be the end. I have tried it on. It is a lovely fit. So I'm very excited to get it done. It's a really, really lovely pattern, really clear. I realised how much I say lovely. I should have like a little buzzer every time I say lovely, because it's a lot. So I do apologise. I have to think of other describing words. It's a very good pattern, quite clear. There is some discussion around whether there's a purl under the arm or not. I did go ahead and do a purl because you're knitting on the wrong side. So if you're doing, even though it's a stocking a garter stitch garment. There is a pearl in the pattern here, and I think it's to kind of finish off that section around the armhole to match up with the I-cord, which kind of looks like a flat knit stitch. So I did a pearl there. I know that some people aren't doing it, some people are, I don't know. I was a slave to the pattern, so I did follow that bit. But ultimately, it's a really lovely fit. I made size 3. I am generally a 10-12 in clothes, and that sort of fitted me UK-wise. So yeah, I think by the end of this weekend, I should have that done, which is why I have decided what is next. But I'm not going to tell you yet. I'm allowed, I've got a really itchy nose, I do apologise. I'm allowed to properly consider a cast on when I've pretty much finished my initial project. Like, I don't really know, A, when I decided that was a rule, or B, whether I've actually followed that rule. But I cannot hear any knitting police, so I'm just going to put it out there. It's fine. So yeah, so that one is coming along really well. My other project is the Musselburgh hat. And, oh no, where's that one gone? That's not in that bag. Here it is, I do apologise. My Musselburgh hat. So, I know it looks absolutely mahoosive, doesn't it? But it is a double thickness, brimmed beanie, slouchy beanie as well, really. So I have, can you see there's just, let's let the camera adjust. So this is looking a little bit more blue-grey than it is really. When you're seeing it in real life, there's not quite as much of a difference. There you can see a slight difference, but not such a big difference. So I have used up all of this skein, this Hillersvåg sock yarn skein, and now I'm starting to knit with some BFL, which is the cream, and a grey lace weight, which is a merino silk, just so that it's a little bit softer on the forehead. So if you kind of imagine this bit then gets pushed up inside the rest of the hat, so that as it has that lip, I don't think I'll be able to fake it at the moment, but yeah, as it has a lip to it, a brim to it, the softer part will then go on to the top of the head. So yeah, that's just a round and round now. I must measure actually, I'm not sure how long I need to go here and whether I go all the way up. Does it go? That's a question. Does it go all the way into the cavity of this hat? Or does it not? Questions for the age. I don't suppose it does. I guess this bit just kind of fits on the head, and then this bit is the thing that kind of gives the extra slouchy beanie bit. Don't know. If you've made one, let me know, because obviously at the moment it feels like I've got to go forever. Don't know, maybe I need to read the pattern a bit more clearly. But yeah, great TV knitting. This is for my daughter, so I'm hoping that I will get that done for her for Christmas. She knows I'm knitting it for her. She's the one that bought the yarn in the first place. But as we've got this cold snap in the UK, I would like to get that done for her. So again, I don't know which knitting demon has possessed me, but I seem to be ticking away at stuff. I think I'm turning into Carol a little bit. I even get up early to be able to do a couple of rounds before I leave for work. And considering I often leave for work about 6:30, 7:15, it's very early. It is dark. It is dark. I'm not a fan at this time of the year. I don't mind the cold, but I'm not a fan of getting up in the dark and then arriving back home in the dark. It feels, it feels like the days are teeny tiny, which is why I think I'm like, no, I'm going to wrestle back some of this day and have a little bit of knitting in the morning, so I don't feel like I'm up, shower, off, return, up, shower, off, return. And yeah, so that's been quite nice actually. So have been doing that. The smell in this room at the moment is divine, and we will come to why in a moment. But yeah, it is delicious. Anyway, moving on from that. Oh, the intrigue. Next project is my socks. I don't know why I even show you these really. They just get slightly longer. At some point, I guess they will fit the frame of the camera. But yeah, heading along there. I think they have to be 36 centimeters before I start the toe. I don't know where I am really. I think I've probably got about 5 or 6 centimeters to go before I start the toe, and this is only sock 1. I know if there is anything that seems to be taking a long time, it's these at the moment. Excuse me while I take a sip. Ooh, I forgot that was sparkling water. Yes, that is sparkly water. I think now we've got the heating on and the fire's going, I find I drink a lot more water. I feel a lot more, what's the word? Thank you. Dehydrated, yes. Yeah, that seems to be taking a little bit of a while, but that's okay. Again, simple knitting. I think I've got 3.5 weeks left in work before I've taken some annual leave, so we've got some flexibility of time to get Christmas projects done. So that one is going around and around quite nicely. And then what shall I do next? Before I announce, like, drum roll please, after all your wonderful, wonderful comments around different knitting designers and different patterns I should look at, I have made a decision about what pattern I'm going to go for. So I will come to that in a second, because I've even done a gauge swatch. What? Who even am I these days? I've done a gauge, not only have I done a gauge swatch, but I've decided to alter my needle size because of that gauge swatch. Now, I know you're probably sitting there saying, isn't that the reason you do a gauge swatch? And yes, it is ordinarily, but I generally don't even listen to my gauge swatch. I do it and then think, oh, I'll block it out, or I will, it'll be fine. But yeah, I have even obeyed my knitting swatch, so I'll come to that in a second. But it's been my birthday this week, so I have had my 55th birthday. I know what is going on. That is like really old. Do you remember when you found out your teacher in school was like 50 and you were like, wow, that's so old? And I think that must have stuck in my head somewhere, because I remember at the time thinking, in primary school, thinking, oh my goodness, that's like forever. Yet here I am, that and more. So yes, I had a lovely birthday this week, and which was great. Thank you for all your birthday wishes, those of you that sent them along. That was really kind of you. But I had a gift from one of my viewers, so Nitty Cat. Thank you so much for sending a gift. When you said you were going to send something along because your husband was in the UK, very loud car. What is that? Very loud motorbike. I was expecting a lovely little gift, which would have been very, very charming and lovely. However, my gosh, that's a very loud motorbike. It's gone now. What a haul. And I just want to say thank you so, so much, not only for the gift, but also for doing it in the first place, but additionally for all your lovely, kind words. So I just wanted to run through a couple of things that were in that goodie bag, and one of them is the glorious smells that I can smell. Can you smell them? You should be able to from there, because it is wonderful. This was some lovely soap, or is some lovely soap, and it is called brilliantly Sweater Weather. So that I thought was fantastic, and it is divine. So I'm not sure what the fragrance is. It just says essential fragrance or oil, but it is grass-fed tallow oil, olive oil, goat's milk, shea butter. So it feels and smells absolutely wonderful. And I'm not sure which way round I'm going to do this, because Julie from Knitty Cats brilliantly sent a little bit of a debrief of what these things were, which is great. So I'm just seeing if I can match everything up. So found it. So the soap was made by a woman who used to go to your church, Julie. Thank you. She moved, but she still sends us soap so we can sell it to raise money for our she rescue home in Cambodia. So wow, that is gorgeous and a lovely way to support a brilliant initiative there. So thank you for that. I will definitely be using that over the Christmas period. Such a lovely, lovely smell. It kind of smells, I don't even know how to describe it. It's almost like a chocolatey but sandalwoody. I'm going to pass out in a second. Sandalwoody. I think that's the shea butter in there. It just smells really rich and warm. So thank you for that very much indeed. And then there was this fabulous scrubby. So like a little crochet scrubby, dishwasher scrubby, which is fabulous. It feels good and sturdy but not harsh for pans. So it is this Loops and Thread Squeaky Clean, it's called. So you've sent this through so I can make some more to give away, which is really kind of you. So I will definitely have a look at crocheting some of those. And Julie says that you can put it in the rack of your dishwasher or your clothes washer to give them a wash once they have been used and dirtied up. So that's perfect. Thank you so much. So there was that. Oh, it goes on. I mean, the generosity is very, very lovely. Then there was this, a Yampa Valley Fiberworks. Can we see the label there? And this is I think it's a sport weight Sassy Sue colour, which is a great name. And it is a BFL, 100% wool BFL shade in this glorious, it's sort of almost like a petrol blue. I think it's a little bit darker than it's coming up in the screen, but yeah, a very, very petrol-y, greeny petrol-y colour. It is absolutely glorious and so soft. I mean, I know BFL is soft anyway, but this is super soft. And I think you suggested a hat in it, and I would agree with you. It is the perfect warmthness and softness for a hat. I don't need any more hats. I have loads of hats, but I love knitting them and I love wearing them in the colder weather. And what have you said about this one? Yampa Valley Fiberworks yarn, small mill in the high up of northwest Colorado, about 200 feet above sea level. No, is that right? It's got to be more than that. Anyway, I can't quite read that. Winters are very cold, so the sheep get busy making amazing wool. I know, isn't that wonderful? The circle of fibre life. The sheep are cold, they make nice warm wool, we borrow it and make wonderful clothes out of it. This is the town where you were born, Julie, and lived until you went to uni. So again, that is gorgeous. Thank you so much. A real connection to the wool and fibre there. So that was another thing that was in there. And here we have Knitty McPurley, and I've heard you talk about Knitty McPurley lots of times on your Knitty Cat podcast, so do pop over and check out Julie and her podcast. It's really lovely. She does lots of different craft, spinning as well as all her knitting and crochet, and she has a great way of not just talking about knitting, but talking about yarn clubs and talking about different things and the importance of knitting community and knitting friends, and I think we absolutely agree on that. So yeah, it's lovely to listen to her podcast, so do go over there and have a little watch. So this is Knitty McPurley, and what have we got here? This is a superwash merino with a nylon sock set, and it's gorgeous, a variegated yarn with this lovely little heel and toe accent. And from this one you have mentioned the sock set is is dyed by my friend Devin. Devin, is that how you pronounce it? I think so. That's how I've heard you say it, I think. Otherwise known as Knitting McPurley. She is so creative and also has a YouTube channel. So I haven't checked her out, but I will absolutely do that. So yeah, thank you so much. That is so generous of you. I really appreciate it. And it's always wonderful to have some treats from different countries from across the pond, isn't it? So I appreciate that very much indeed. Thank you ever so much. I will enjoy knitting these up. And also she sent me, which did make me laugh, a bag, like a Tesco grocery bag, which I think is great. And this is the Colorado Hills, which she said would be funny thinking about it having a little wander around Tesco. So yeah, it will definitely be coming to Tesco with me. So the simple things, isn't it, makes you smile, and also is very practical. But yeah, these things get spread across the globe. So thank you again, Julie. I really appreciate it, and I will be yes, tuning in to the next YouTube episode. So do go over there and have a little look. What am I wearing? I haven't even said. Goodness. It's getting really dark here now. It is what? 4 o'clock, and it's definitely closing in for the evening. But this is my handspun, a John Arbon handspun. I think it is it Spinadelic? Is that the type of yarn or the colour? I can't quite remember. I will pop it down below. I was just trying to desperately rack my brain then. But it is the Felix cardigan, and it is a, I'll put the mix down below, but I've got a feeling it's got some alpaca in it. And it's not as stiff and structured as I would like, if that makes sense. It's definitely had a little bit of a stretch. So I think if I made the pattern again, which I'm very much tempted to do, I love the pattern. I know Carol's done a couple of the Felix cardigans, and I think there's a Felix sweater as well. I love these buttons though. Look how glorious they are. Aren't they pretty? Really nice. But yeah, it has stretched a little bit. It's super cozy, but I would like it to kind of hold its shape, especially at this this kind of shoulder detail. So I might one day I will look at knitting another one. But again, I'm very pleased with my handspun. It does hold up quite well. It hasn't what's the word, bobbled that much. It has started to bobble around the underarms, but not too much. But it is super warm, so perfect for weather like this when we've had this cold snap. So that's what I'm wearing. What else to say, really? Okay, so I think the reveal on what I decided to knit next with this combination of yarn. So if you've been here for a while, you will know I've been looking for a project or a home for this wonderful Nellie and Eve 100% Shetland wool limited edition oatmeal shade. Yeah, 100% Shetland limited edition 4-ply, and that's the oatmeal shade. So that's what my main colour will be. Look at that, isn't it glorious? And I think the wonderful thing about Helen and the yarns that she produces is that, you know, they are small batch, that she very much knows the heritage, if is that the word, of the yarn. She knows where it's from, she knows where it's spun, and obviously she knows how it's dyed because she does that herself. So it's great to kind of have that lineage, maybe that's the word I'm looking for, of those yarns. It's very important, isn't it? So that's the main colour, and then the contrast colours are my ginger pink set. Let me see if I can find the details there. Yeah, ginger pink again, naturally dyed, plant dyed, and this is 60% Zorbles and 40% Exmoor Blueface, again as a 4-ply. Now there are 5 colours, so they're all 50 grams each. They're looking a little bit brighter in the camera, but they are a lovely earthen shade. So I think it looks like they are a dark brown natural, coloured with or spun with these naturally dyed yarns. So they've got a nice solid base to them. All of Kerry from Ginger Pink's yarns are beautiful. And as I've often said before, and you will probably agree, when you've got these plant-based dyes, it sort of doesn't matter what colours you put together. Nature knows its stuff and it pulls these colours together beautifully. So I have 5, but the pattern that I have chosen only has 4 contrast colours. So it was a close tie between the Lunenburg sweater. Can't remember the designer now. I'll put the details and probably a photo here as well to remind us all. Like we need reminding. I've been going on about it for ages. But the Lunenburg sweater and the Porty pullover by Gudrun Johnston. And it's the Porty pullover that has won. But when I was looking at the pattern, which I cannot see for the life of me now, I'm sure I brought it in. I'm back. I left it by the kettle. I was making a cup of tea. Then I decided I would go for the water. And now I'm really hungry. Do you get that when all of a sudden you're like, oh, starving? Anyway. It is the Porty pullover. Now this is the unisex version. So the main version is, I suppose, oh gosh, look how dark. Ooh. The main version, which I'll put here if I remember, is like the browns and natural greens and oranges, and that's I guess a female version. So I've decided to go for the unisex version because the other one has waist shaping, which I don't generally want or do, and it also has the unisex version is also bigger in the upper arms, you know, room for the guns. So I haven't got particularly much gunnage going on, but I do like a little bit of a sweater that's a bit roomy. I don't like it too snug. So I am going to go for the unisex version. It says it has a slightly deeper yoke. I'm not sure that it does. When you look at the schematic, I don't think there's much difference there. And it's longer in the body. That's okay because I can stop whenever I need to, really. However, so I'm going to do the second size in this, whereas on the female pattern I would have done the 4th size to get the sort of size I want. So the second size on this gives me, I think it's 41-inch chest, which is around a 2-3 inch. That's what it suggests, positive ease. But to get to that size in the women's version, it's sort of 4 sizes in. So it's the second size, so not that it really matters. I was concerned that I would be using more yarn because of the deeper yoke. But I think the yarn meterage is about the same. Excuse me. Oh, is about the same for both sweaters, especially if I'm going shorter in the length anyway. However, I don't have enough yarn. I don't have enough contrast colour yarn. The contrast colour 4, I think, in the pattern I want to make, comes in at about 120 meters. I've only got 80 meters. 80 meters, I think it is, per 50 grams. So I'm out by quite a bit on contrast colour 1 and 4. The other 2 I think are just about okay. But there is pattern around the sleeve here, and there is also at the bottom of the sleeves and the body of the sweater, she finishes off in a colour which I think is contrast colour 4. So I'm not going to do that, so I'll save a bit there. But I'm just going to see what happens. Never one to follow a pattern in terms of the rules, although earlier there I was doing gauge swatches and worried about the knitting police. But I'm just going to go for it, see what happens, because if I'm only using 4 colours, if the worst comes to the worst, and I don't know which of these 4 of the 5 I'm gonna use, but if the worst comes to the worst, I'll just use a bit of something else. I think that's okay, is it? Yeah, I mean, knitting police, whatever. So I'm just gonna have a go, and then if I have to, if there's a little bit more of the chart or the pattern, I'm just gonna throw in the other colour, whatever the other colour looks like. So there we are. I don't care. No, I don't care. You can argue with me as much as you like, but that's what I'm gonna do, because I want to use up these minis, and I am often tempted to buy a set of minis, but I often worry that I won't have enough. So then I don't buy them because I don't use them. So I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to see what happens. I could spend hours and hours and hours and hours pouring through patterns, making sure that I've got exactly enough. But ultimately, I'm just going to give it a go, and then I will know either I'm very wrong or I'm very right to go, yeah, just go for it. If you've got a pack of minis, you can use a main colour and just make it up as you go along with the minis for the contrast colours. Gosh, that was a long conversation, wasn't it? So I'm going to go for that. Now, I did my swatch. I know. Who even am I? I did my swatch. I did it on a 3.25 needle, was the suggested in my liner or Lane knitting notebook, which I love. This is my second one. I don't get through them very much, but yeah, this is my second one. And what did I say to myself? I tried my swatch on 3.25 needles, and I came up with 3.25, 24 stitches and 32 rows, and I should have, the gauge is 27 stitches and 36 rows. So I've gone down to a 3, and I've just started my second swatch to be sure. The central part of me wanted to just go, it'll be fine, I'll block it out, but I thought no, I'm going to have a go at doing another swatch. So I'll do another little swatch. It knits up beautifully, by the way, this Nellie and Eve Shetland wool, beautiful. So yeah, I will go ahead and knit another swatch with this needle size to see what I come up with before I go ahead, because I do have a little bit of time, because I am finishing off my Pelica Vest. So I'm not ready to cast on. I've got a little bit of messing about time, let's say, experimental time, to just make sure that it's right. So yeah, I will crack on with that, I think. In terms of everything else, that sort of is it for my projects. As I say, I will record the Sleeve Island Knitting Club podcast probably later in the week, ready for launching next weekend. But what else is happening knitting wise? I'm actually getting quite excited about getting my spinning wheel out. That's what I've decided I'm going to do. Over the Christmas break, I'm going to oil up my spinning wheel, get that out and ready to have a little go at getting my spinning fingers back in. And I was wondering, are you interested in doing a sweater spin along? A spin along a sweater quantity along. I don't know. I think it might keep me on track. And maybe we could look at something that is either a tee, maybe a tee, something more manageable, something smaller, maybe a colourwork tee. I was thinking about the Soldotna, but I know I've had lots of comments about Caitlin Hunter's patterns and the neckline, but I do love my Soldotna, and I would love to do like a natural colour-y, dye-y, version-y. So do we do a Soldotna spin along, or do we just do maybe a sweater, a tee spin along a tee? I don't know. It's very late now. I'm very hungry. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know. Would you be interested? And maybe we'll start over Christmas and we'll go up until maybe for like next fall, next autumn. We could be doing it by then. So we got ages. if you're interested, let me know. I'm just going around and around now, spinning in my own head. My battery died then. It was like, will you shut up? So yes, spinning, spin along a thing. I don't know. Let me know if you're interested, and we'll try and set something up. But yes, I think that's about it from me. Looking forward to, yeah, really looking forward to my projects, really getting into my projects at the moment, which is great. And absolutely helped by your comments, your thoughts, your suggestions has really helped to kind of keep that knitting mojo alive, because it kind of comes in and out, doesn't it, sometimes, but I do feel like it is alive and well, and oftentimes it gets reignited when you go to a yarn show, something like that. I don't know about you, but I absolutely think that spending time with knitty friends, going to a yarn show, just gives you a little bit of a kickstart if you have a waning mojo. So yes, that is it from me now. I hope you're all keeping well. I will catch up with you next weekend. Keep busy, keep happy, keep warm, keep knitting, and I will see you very soon. Diolch pawb, hwyl fawr, bye.